Hello everyone, welcome to Officer 24/7. My name is Niharika Valia Bhatnagar and I'm with you with the specific area of Adda 24/7. Okay everyone, I hope I'm audible as well as clearly visible. Starting with our journey today, we're talking about the basics of accounting in our class today. So what do you mean by the term accountancy? What is exactly this particular topic? We'll be starting with the series from scratch. So everyone, first of all, let me know if this is all clear for you. So let's begin with the session. Okay, let's talk about this in detail, everyone. Today, let's talk about the first part that is called accounting basics. But what is accounting basics? When we talk about the complete basics of accounting, it talks about what exactly accounting is, how exactly it works. When we talk about accounting, accounting is merely a recording of the transactions of the organization. You made a sales, you made a purchase, everything recorded. You sold something, you purchased something, if it's an asset, something which helps you to grow further, it's called asset. Then something which helps you to keep on working every single day. For example, electricity expenses, you pay it off and then you know, okay, this is what I've done. That is what we'll cover in this area. When we talk about the specific of electricity expenses, it just helps you to run on a daily basis. That is something which can be talked about as an expense. But what about the things that we are using uh, on a long term basis? My car is my fixed asset. I use it for a very long period of time to earn funds. So when we talk about assets, what are assets exactly, everyone? Let's talk about the basic terminology today. First is current assets. When we talk about current assets means any assets which can be converted into pure, matlab we can say cash or number one is cash, or you can say any form of bank balance. They are called actually cash and cash equivalents. Any money that you can receive in cash or cash equivalents within a period of 1 year, at least it can be transformed into this within a span of 1 year. That is called current. Anything which takes a lot of time to convert into cash, that is takes more than 1 year, one operating cycle, that is called fixed assets. Next is called our tangible and intangible ones. Acha, when we talk about, everyone, I earn through the equipment that I'm working upon. So this pen is basically an intangible or tangible. It's a tangible asset. I can touch it now, but I cannot touch the copyright of Adda 24/7. So in this case, that particular copyright of our organization is what? That is something which I can define as intangible. है ना? So then anything which is something which you can touch is called tangible. Something which you cannot touch is called intangible. Actually, everyone, one more thing. The particular classes that we are taking right now, these conceptual classes that we are started with, this would be based upon both MCQs as well as the topics. Okay? So let's talk about it further, everyone. Since it's the first class, I'm going to start with the basics further. So when we talk about different types of assets, what are the different types of assets? First is as per convertibility. See, when you convert the assets into convertibility, matlab it takes more than 1 year, it's called non-current. If it takes less than 1 year, it's called current. Okay, this is based upon 1 year or one operating cycle. In how much time you can actually recover the cash that you have invested, based on uh, operating cycle number one, or it is based upon or 1 year. Okay, then comes on the basis of physical existence. This exists physically. The content for YouTube that we are preparing is based upon copyright. That copyright is something which exists only in papers. So that is what we talk about, tangible and intangible. This is the one you can touch and the one you cannot touch. Can not touch. They are called intangibles. Then comes when we talk about the last part, as per the purpose or usage. In this case, everyone, something which is used on a daily basis, it's called operating assets. Something which takes a lot of time to be used there further, that is called non-operating assets. Okay? Next point, what are the various liabilities? Everyone, how do you define the term liabilities in an organization? Liabilities refers to any burden that you have on your business. This is basically the burden that we have in our business. First is our current liabilities, anything which can be converted, which has to be paid off within a span of 1 year is called current liabilities. Anything which takes more than 1 year is called non-current liabilities. Okay? And the next part is, acha, current and non-current is all sorted. Current means based upon 1 year. Non-current matlab it is for more than 1 year. Then comes contingent liabilities. Contingent means what? Contingent means anything which is uncertain. For example, someone sued Coke. Someone has sued Coke for being an unhealthy drink. But even to be very frank about the particular thing, there are certain controversial uh, suits that were filed. For example, Abhi recently I was going through a defamation case where one of the actresses in our country had filed a defamation case against someone who said any rumor about her for 5 crore rupees. Now the point is, can she record it as an asset? No. Till the time you don't have chances of winning, how can you say that you're going to receive the money? And the person who is supposed to pay, then even in his case, there is no certainty that he has to pay. That is why when they talk about the term liabilities, liabilities are something which has to be certain in order to be recorded. If it is not certain, then it is definitely called contingent liabilities. This talks about the potential liabilities that may arise, such as lawsuits, warranties, or but they are not certain. Okay? That is why contingent liabilities are not a part of the financial statements actively. They are disclosed because of the principle of full disclosure. They are given in the footnote. Footnote means by the end of the particular financial statements, you specify that pata hai, this particular thing happened or that particular thing happened, and it might lead to, it is not certain, but yeah, it might lead to a situation where the company has to pay. वैसे not only company, any organization altogether. Okay, next part. Everyone, when we talk about the financial statements of an organization, that includes what? First of all, the first part it includes is assets. Anything that helps you to earn money is called asset. For example, everyone, the laptop that I work upon, the equipments that I possess when we are making the classes and all, man, let's make it as if this is my business. This is a business and profession area, so I'll treat it as a profession. So if this is my profession, then from the profession, how do I earn? By preparing the classes, by preparing the content, and then selling it online. You know? So in this case, the laptop that I'm using, the camera, the lighting that I'm using, they are all assets, right? That is the first part. Then the next part that we have in the business is called what? It is called liabilities. How do we define the term liabilities, everyone? When we talk about the term liabilities, liabilities means the money that we are supposed to pay. We haven't paid yet, but we are supposed to pay. Okay, to someone, be it our business or be it our capital, because even the money that we have taken from the owner is called a liability on a broader perspective. A liability can be owner based or outsider based. If we talk about the money that the business owes to the owner of the organization, it's called capital, because the owner of the business puts his money, personal money, into it is called capital. If someone else gives them money, they are called borrowings, outstanding expenses. This is someone else's money being in the business as a liability. So this can be your loans, any money that you're supposed to pay, or even the outstanding expenses. So any of those things. Then comes the specific area of equity, everyone. वैसे तो in terms of our balance sheet ना, there is something called balance sheet equation. Whatever I make in the business is my asset. For example, I decided to buy a car, everyone. My car costs say 10 lakh rupees. I took a loan for 2 lakh. I used my personal 8 lakh and I got a 10 lakh rupee car. So car is my asset and the money that I use on my own is my capital. The money that I borrowed is called my loan, or it is called capital plus liabilities. Either you will be using your money, either you will be taking it as a loan from others, and that will become your asset. I'm sorry. Then, so when we talk about the term equity, it is based upon, first of all, the money that the businessman involves in his business. The money that he has invested is called owner's equity. In terms of owner's equity, is the money that the businessman himself is putting. Okay? In terms of company, it's called share capital. In terms of others, it's called normal capital. It is called capital itself. Then the money that I save in my business, because obviously I do not take the entire money out of my business. I will keep a certain amount of money in my business itself as a saving. That is called retained earnings, everyone. When we talk about retained earnings means what? Retained earnings means the money that we have saved in the business for our future use. And the last part is share capital. As you can see, share capital means the money the owner invests in the business, and that too divided into different units. Then, then now look at this part. There are two interesting terms called debtor and creditor. What's the difference between the two, everyone? When we talk about debtor, debtor means anyone in the business who has invested money. Okay, this is basically someone who has taken goods on credit from you. We have made credit sales to them and they owe us money. Okay, and creditor is the person from whom we have purchased goods on credit. So this is our credit purchases, everyone. Okay, so in this case, what do we do? The entity that owes money to the creditor, and the second is the entity that is owed money from the debtor. So this is basically someone who is going to give us money, so obviously is an asset. I'll be telling you, actually I'll be boasting about it. Pata hai, Mr. XYZ is supposed to give me this much amount of money after this much amount of time. That's an asset. And if I have to pay to someone, it is basically a liability. Everybody got the idea? Basic terminologies. Debtor means the person who from whom we will be getting the money, and he's an asset. And long term or short term, both of these are basically short term. Done. Chale. Now moving on to the next point. What do you mean by these basic terms called revenue? Revenue is basically the source of income for the business. Number one is sales. Sales is the money that we are selling in the goods that we are selling in the business through which we generate our income. That is called sales, everyone. Second part is called interest. Just a moment. Okay, go ahead and read it out, everyone. Haji. Now, when we talk about the term sales, everyone, sales is what? The money that we are going to earn because we have sold goods on behalf of the business overall. This is basically our business money that we are generating. Then sometimes we get money by giving loans to someone, or we can also have an FD. You know, so if we make an investment, we get money. This is interest received. What if from the business I generated a good amount of funds and from that I made a specific rent? So rent that we have received would be covered here. When we talk about this rent, what do we mean by this rent? Rent is basically the money that we'll be receiving, right? Just because we have given a property to someone else to use. So in this case, renting out would be covered here. This is received. And but the last one is what? The last one is basically the commission that we are supposed to receive because we might be doing anything which is other than our business activity. Do we do only business to earn money? No. Sometimes our business also does something unconventional to earn. So that is also something that will happen. You know? Okay. Then everyone, the next part is the expenses that we have in the business. What kind of expenses do we have? First is our operating expenses, the expenses that we do in order to run our business on a daily basis. That is called operating expenses. And of course, when we are selling our goods in the market, it is called cost of goods sold. Cost of goods sold means the goods that we are selling in the market for the sake of it. Acha, theek hai. Everyone, I decided to sell my pen. I make pens and then I sell them. The cost of making those pens is basically one part, and then we are selling that particular thing, that is the sales part. Obviously I will not sell at the same price at which it costed me. I'll be definitely selling it over and above that. Then we have admin expenses, the expenses we do. See, every even company, if we talk about manufacturing units as well, even if they have a factory, they need people in the admin department who will prepare their payroll expenses, their basic cash information. All those things that they need in the business would be taken in the administrative expenses. Done. Now look at this part. The next part is called the profit and loss account. But the profit and loss account is that account which talks about the income that you are earning in the business. Why are we earning this business money? Because we are spending as well. Everyone, do I make money without spending money? Is it possible? See, the point is when we talk about profit and loss account, it talks about revenue. Revenue is the income that you earn in the business. Expenses means the money that you spend in the business. Profit is the money that you make out of the business. That is, income minus your expenses will give you the profit. Profit or loss. वैसे actually being optimistic, we'll always say there is a profit. है ना? चलिए. Now let's do some basic level numericals, basic level questions, everyone, right? Chale, before we proceed further, today we'll be talking about a few questions as well. Chale, now let's talk about the profit and loss account, and then here comes the first question. The question is talking about the basic concepts of accounting. मतलब वैसे तो I'll be talking about these concepts of accounting in detail in the upcoming classes as well. But let's talk about the question there. Transactions between owner and the business are recorded as per. See, the owner and the business are not the same. That is why they talk about capital as the money that that as the business owns this money to someone else. Na? That is to be covered here. Transaction between owner and the business. That is called periodicity concept or going concern. Periodicity matlab record everything as per yearly basis. See, if I talk about reading a book and I say that the entire book is in a paragraph form, nobody will read it. One particular book has to be converted into different chapters. Chapters has to be divided into subparts. Subparts have to be divided into sub paragraphs. Only then the person feels that, today I'll be finishing up to this particular paragraph and then I'll move on. That means in terms of understanding the business, even the life of the business may be 30 years, or if we talk about Lamborghini or the other companies that are GE or General Motors and all, these are something which are existing for a good number of years in the market and they have floated through the worst time as well. So what happens in that case? You cannot study those organizations from the very beginning. So what do? You try to look forward towards this area by looking at the organization, है ना? How the people who are representing it are looking like. Then comes a specific area of, that is what we talk about, the specific area of uh, periodicity, when we talk about understanding the things on yearly basis. Going concern concept says men may come and men may go, the organization is here to stay. So we'll be talking about the specific area for going concern. Prudence means you are actually being wise. That means you are going to anticipate the losses but not profits. You will anticipate the losses but not profits. Then we have business entity concept. Business entity concept says that the business and the businessman are two different things. So the recording in terms of the transaction and the business is as per business entity concept. That is why the money that you put into the business is called capital. When you take the money out of the business, it's called drawings. The information provided in the annual financial statements of an enterprise pertain to business industry, economy, individual business entity, or none of the above. When we talk about the information which is provided in the annual financial statements, everyone, every single year when you're making it, it is based to look forward towards is basically to cater the business industry. The businesses are basically set on a yearly basis, and even income tax department asks them to provide their books of accounts as per uh, the this particular area of accountancy itself. है ना? Next part is, which of the following is not a transaction? Goods are purchased on cash basis. This is a transaction because this relates to your business. Salary paid for the month of May. It is again related to business. Land is purchased for 10 lakh. Again, there is a particular commercial property that we're talking about, and monetary amounts are also specified. An employee dismissed from the job. Everyone, if someone is dismissed from the job, you cannot record it in your books of accounts at all. So in this case, the dismissal of a particular person would be covered under the it is not a transaction because it misses the portion of monetary part. It's a non-monetary transaction, hence not a part of your accounting. Okay, done everyone? I hope this is visible. Done everyone? Now comes the next question. All of the following statements are objectives of accounting except providing information about assets, liabilities, and business entities. These were the first terminologies that we read. That means this is a strong part of accounting. Maintaining records of business. If you do not keep the records, then what are you recording? Day-to-day shopping of any organization? No. Obviously, we'll be recording whatever is happening in the business. Providing information about the business entity's performance. Yeah, this can definitely be there. We're going to understand the specific area of this only, that we're going to understand the particular performance of these organizations as well. Done. Then comes providing the specific about the personal assets. Personal assets should not be considered. Reason is what? Personal assets should not be considered because of one specific reason, that they are personal in nature. है ना? Anything which is not related to the business should not be recorded in the books of accounts at all. Isn't it? Chaliye. Now this is it for the day, everyone. I hope this particular session was helpful for you. Before I end my session, let me show you where to go when you're planning to purchase our courses. You need to go on to the area of www.adda247.com, go on to the area of JIB and CIB, and look at this part, everyone, JIB May 2025, and purchase the Mahapack right away. This Mahapack includes 600 hours of live classes, old batches, test series ebooks, and look at this, currently double validity is available. And pata, even the Maha marathons of the previous class, previous batches is also available with this. And you also get to know about the memory based previous papers as well through these. So all these things can be done by you only if you are a part of this particular batch. And pata hai, not only these, you don't get only the present batches but also the previous batches. Along with this, any batch that would come upon, revision batch, numerical batch, case study batch, whatever we come up, everything would be available for you provided you purchase the Mahapack. So you don't have to buy any other course from this area of JIIB. So prepare well, everyone. I'll be meeting you in the next session. Thank you so much for being there. Bye bye.